Welcome back to another episode of Is It Better Than the Movie, where I play video games based on movies and see if in fact the video game is better than the movie. The battle we have today is Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, or Philosopher's Stone as it's known outside the US. The first Harry Potter film was released in 2001, and like many of my age, this was my Star Wars. I adore the Wizarding World and almost everything this movie has spawned. No, not you. As a Potterhead, I still consider the first movie to be the best in the series, so feel free to yell at me in the comments. Of course, I have my personal reasons, but because the franchise rolls around magic, this movie and the series as a whole is one that will stand the test of time forever. Can that magic be translated to the game? And is it better than the movie? Let's find out. I've actually played this game back in the day, the PC version of it, and I was expecting it to be the same, but I was pleasantly surprised it wasn't. I honestly didn't really like the PC version that much. The game follows the movie pretty closely. It even uses memorable lines and recreates scenes from the movie. We do jump ahead though, skipping the whole Dursleys and having you do the tutorial with Ollivander in his shop on Diagon Alley. Harry moves really fast and surprisingly smooth. He does jump automatically, which can be weird. And the camera controls are pretty standard for the time, which doesn't mean much, but still, it's still playable today. Birdie Bots Beans, say that 5 times, Birdie Bots Beans, Birdie Bots Beans, Birdie Bots Beans, Birdie Bots Beans, Birdie Bots Beans. Birdie Bots Beans are the currency to buy stuff at the Twin Shop. There are also 101 wizard cards to collect, and you have them on pages of 10 in your menu. And filling up a page increases stamina, aka another lightning bolt. The whole graphics of the game give me kind of Jimmy Neutron vibes. I don't know, just very cartoony with real buggy eyes. The voice acting isn't bad, but isn't great either. It's 50-50. There are some good and some are not. I like Hagrid and I also like Professor Snape, even if he does look a little Lord Farquaad-y.
Dark Arts with Professor Quirrell next. Class dismissed.
The music captures the Harry Potter whimsy and does a great job in providing to the atmosphere the series is known for. So once you get sorted and situated, you now must attend classes and play out the movie. At the beginning of the day, either Ron or Hermione will guide you to their proper classroom. Just be sure not to lose them because Hogwarts definitely feels really big at first. There's plenty to explore and it's very easy to get lost if you don't know where you're going. This is what surprised me the most, just how big the game is. You have 7 floors within inside the castle, each floor with many rooms and doors to explore, along with a dungeon, a courtyard, and a garden that's really big as well. The scope and how open and free the whole game feels really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that. Again, maybe because the PC version wasn't like that. The classes you take are basically dungeons. You have to complete these to learn a spell. Spells you will assign a button to have easy access to. You have Lumos to cast light and attack ghost enemies. You got Spongify to cast a spring on a tile to bounce up and down. You got Defendo that cuts things, Alohomora to unlock doors, and Incendio to set things on fire. Each enemy has a certain set of spells that must be used to take them down. The spells work on a lock-on system. You lock on a target and press the spell. It isn't the greatest. It can take a second to lock on what you actually want, and this can be frustrating, especially in hectic scenarios, but these scenarios really aren't many, to be honest. The dungeons are filled with enemies and puzzles to get through, along with challenge shields. These provide extra house points. Once you crawl back out of the dungeon hole and you get back to the teacher to complete the dungeon, they will give you a grade on how you did, taking the shield into account and awarding you house points. Points that will be tallied at the end of each day to see which house will take the house cup. By the way, I'm totally a Gryffindor. Feel free to rep your house down in the comments. I'm curious. And while you're down there, hit the subscribe button. So, once you finish with your classes for the day, you can freely explore in and outside the castle. I thought this was pretty cool. And whenever you're done with that, you can end the day, which will turn everything into night, where I think most of the movie's plot moves along, whether it's fighting Malfoy, sneaking past prefects to get a book, or helping out Hagrid. The enemies you will be facing, as I mentioned before, we have different types of ghost characters that you take down with the Lumos light. There are also imps you must stun and throw them down a hole or put them into cages. And you will also take down more than one troll, the kind that are featured in the girls' bathroom in the first movie. I think this was the worst one to take down. It's not hard, but I feel like it was a little annoying. He has to hit the spring tile on the floor to smack himself in the face, and it kind of takes a while to gauge and figure out the right distance and spot this will work. But once you do, you can spam it, and it's pretty easy. There are also a few flying enemies you can take down. There's some killer plants. It has a healthy variety of enemies. It also has a nice variety of levels as well. Each dungeon, as I mentioned, has its own feel and theme to it. The garden and the woods provide a very big scenery switch. There are also sneaky levels. There is enough to keep the levels feeling fresh and nothing feels recycled, which I appreciate. Maybe the stupid trolls a little bit, but that's really it. The puzzles feel kinda thoughtful and actually feel like a little thought was put into them. Pretty wild I'm saying this about an EA game. It's nothing crazy, but I played a little bit of these movie-based video games for a while and I've just seen them phone a lot of stuff in. And they didn't here. There are a lot of chests scattered throughout, some featuring the wizard cards that I mentioned and others with wizarding goodies to recover stamina. You will get to fly as well, twice as part of a mission, and when Harry receives his Nimbus 2000, it becomes an item in your inventory and you can assign it to a button and just take off and fly around if you like. Flying is fast and pretty fluid. It isn't perfect, but it is not Superman 64. It's pretty sensitive, but easy to get the hang of. I'm not sure if it plays anything like the Quidditch game they also released. I have not played that yet. Please stay tuned to the channel. It's a pretty short game, as these movie-based games tend to be. It took me around 7 hours to beat. While it's always fun to run around Hogwarts using spells and just being a student, the real question is it better than the movie? No, it's not. If you'd like to see if another game is better than the movie, I'll leave it for you right here. And always and forever, you do you.